Jesus.
But I mean, according to Hassan Piker, I'm a PF Jung. I'm sort of somebody in your sphere.
I'm almost afraid to say his name this publicly, but I feel like I feel shit if I did. PF Jung, he's like he's a centrist kind of guy thing.
I don't know who PF Jung is.
Oh man, I feel like I don't know if I'm doing something good for the universe right now by broadcasting his name. He's interesting. He's one of the most interesting creators I've watched recently. Jung, Jung, Jung. But I did a talk with him, and he had this argument about managing the freaks on your side or something like that. And I was explaining to him that no, that's not actually a useful thing to do.
Many people believe
as you build if you're trying to build a political activity in the movement.
I think you've brought him up before.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to him in real life. I've talked to him. He doesn't seem like some of the times when he says stuff, I'm like, all right, I'm never talking to you again. But other times I'm like, there's an interest in there, because he's meme. He's reduced all of this shit to memes, and as dumb as that sounds, as I start thinking about populism right now, it actually feels like.
I mean, there's also J-Reg does that too.
J-Reg, yeah.
A lot of these guys do that.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys.
Him and J-Reg, I think. Yeah, there you go, right there.
Yeah. Or there's the conservative JJ McCullough, who's like a conservative in Canada, so he's like the most woke gay libtard by American standards.
Klaus Schwab is not well known, but his influence is far and wide, and that's kind of how I am. I'm sort of the Klaus Schwab of online politics.
Because I was talking about this with Greg and Brogan earlier today, and why do you think it is that, like, even though you're small, we were sort of, I think Brogan sort of said this, is like you seem to sort of like punch above your weight. And what do you think is the root of that? Like, why do you think like an FD signifier? Like, why do people like, why me for that matter? Like, why are people just kind of like fascinated with you in this way?
It's because I'm an exceedingly indomitably charismatic and intriguing figure. Well, I suppose you would have the answer to that question, since you were the first person. You reached out to me a while ago after Greg showed you one of my videos. Yeah, so in some sense,
Greg was under your spell before even I was.
Yes, well, and that because I made a video that was very J-Reg Greg-like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I think
you do have some charisma. Like, I think you can't understate that. Like,
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. Were you ever interested in being like an actor or anything like that?
An actor?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, I've always been, I could always do accents. I could do an Irish accent. My granddad was a potato farmer. I always practice a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
Ich bin auch ein Wissenschaftler, but I can do work on Fernsehen.
But
no.
Like, did you ever have asked? Well, I mean, you want to do comedy, right? Like, you're interested in doing stand up, right?
I'll do it. I'm in. One of my plans is me and my buddy are going to go do like open mics on a regular basis. That mainly, but that's not to get a career in comedy. That's mainly to practice public speaking in being uncomfortable environments.
Yeah.
No, I mean I definitely have thought about like president or by the time I take over it'll be what would it be? Supreme Chancellor or Emperor PF Jung. I won't even go by my real name. But no, not acting. Here's what I think. You want to know the honest answer?
Yes.
I'll give you the simplest campy answer that is still, I believe, true.
Okay.
It's because I've internalized a lot of 2018 Jordan Peterson. Okay. And I mean, I like, it's like, well, why would people be interested when I have to say or anything? It's like, because I think people can tell when someone is genuinely trying to articulate what they truly believe without really conditioning it that much. I've gotten into trouble, as you know, JJ, for, leaning too hard into certain
acronyms, shall we say?
Well, it's not necessarily the acronyms that are the problem. It's the whole, I'm doing it to be like an undercover, I'm going to say these anti-Semitic things so people think I'm anti-Semitic, so then they come and watch me, and then I can deconvert them. Yes. It's like, that's a little...
it's a little 4D chess, I think.
Yeah, and I'm not good at 3D chess, so I can't play 4D chess. But,
no,
I don't know.
I think it's true, though. Like, what you sort of said is like, I would put it, there's a certain guilelessness to you right? Like that, and I think that that's an attractive quality, like where there's a sort of sense that you are who you are, for better or for worse. Like there's no pretense.
Tell me more. Why else? Why, JJ, do people like lit? Tell me more about my positive traits.
You're inherently. I'm not even sort of making a value judgment. They're not necessarily wonderful traits.
True, it'll be the death of me in the end.
They're traits that I suppose are just rare enough that they intrigue people.
Yeah, which it is. Yeah, my fellow content creator. I hate that fucking term. I can't believe I refer to myself as that. Oh my god, it's the Austin pollen is already in the air. I'm calling myself a content creator.
Yes.
Rowan made a tweet about there's some kind of thing. I don't know what it's called. It's called like a fallacy or it's not a fallacy. It's a phenomenon where you always vastly overestimate how much other people know or have the same background knowledge that you do on any given subject. Like the idea that, for example, like you should just say what you honestly believe to be true and not like here, never lie.
Yes.
Like there are people I think who are like, no, like Destiny has said explicitly is like, after talking to me, he's like, well, what you've proven, Paul, is that I need to lie more. I need to lie and manipulate more to get people to, I'm like, it boggles my mind how, someone that intelligent can come away with that opinion, because it's just like, it's so uninteresting to watch a persona just repeat the platitudes and all that. And, I think the other thing too is I'm willing to disagree strongly with someone.
Yes.
And yet have a cordial conversation. I can pretty much talk to anyone, right? I can talk to an FD signifier, maybe a Hassan Piker at some point, or a Andrew Wilson or a Nick Fuentes or something like that. It's like I'm willing to have an honest conversation with anyone.
But that is a controversial part of you, I would say.
Yeah. I'm
not necessarily
that I do
part of you, I would say.
Correct. I do. Yeah. And to be clear, that I do understand. Like, how come everyone isn't willing to talk to like Nick Fuentes or Hassan Piker? It's like, that I understand, but just the general approach of just don't lie and just say what you believe to be true as best as you can and see what happens.
Yeah. I think it's just
a lot of Jordan Peterson.
The struggling through it, I think, is perhaps because when somebody is, I don't know, when somebody is sort of like uncertain or a little dopey, as you sometimes admit to being, it invites a certain interest in that person because it suggests that they're still, flexible and that, people can still have an influence on you and maybe correct misconceptions you've had. Somebody that presents or ostentatiously claims themselves to be open-minded and, persuasive by logic and facts as you sometimes do, as you often do.
Yeah. And I'm observing, how things progress on my channel and making decisions and adaptions.